Welcome to Manscape, guys. How are we doing, you sexy bitches? Today I have a very special guest, my buddy from Georgia, Nick. He was a foreign exchange student in America, and he's just a great friend of mine. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me, man.
Absolutely, brother. I miss you, dude. We haven't seen each other in forever. What the
Yeah,
hell have
it's
you been up
been
to?
it's been eight years actually. Yeah,
Jesus,
many
almost a
things happened.
decade.
Yeah, many things happened. Actually, I was gonna say good evening, but you guys have what 11 a.m. now, and it's evening in here, so
Yeah,
big
what
time
time is it for
difference.
you?
It's 7:10. It's evening. I think there's 8 hours of difference between Georgia and U.S. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, you said Georgia,
You and I
and many
are.
people might not know that it's a country. No, many people do know. But yeah, I'm from
I didn't know
Republic of
that.
Georgia. Republic of Georgia. It's in between Asia and in Europe, so it's warm in here now and sunny. It's still
Yeah,
Europe, I
awesome.
guess.
You and I are like polar opposites of the day then. I'm just starting mine and you're getting to the end of yours.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. That's probably one of the reasons I did not really keep up with with my friends in US because it's so hard to stay in touch when the time difference is so big and like it's really hard to find convenient time for both of us. So yeah.
No kidding, man. Do you have anybody that you keep up with pretty well?
Actually, no, not at all.
No one? No?
No, absolutely
This
not.
sucks, man.
I know, I know. There's so many friends I
How,
made in
so,
US, and I was coming back to Georgia, and I was like, I'm definitely gonna stay in touch. We're gonna visit each other and everything, but yeah, no, it didn't happen. It's too far.
yeah, it's like a long distance relationship. I imagine it's very difficult to keep up with us.
Exactly. Actually, I've had three long distance relationships, and they are hard.
Yeah?
They're really
For
hard.
real, yeah. No
Yeah,
kidding, man. Do you
really
miss the
hard.
States?
I do a little bit because since US I lived in Vilnius, it's a Lithuania, small country in Eastern Europe. Then I lived in the Netherlands for a year. So I've been traveling and living in different countries. Didn't have much time to miss one particular, but yeah, there's like one part of me that I have really connected with the US. I really miss that. And I don't know if
Oh, I
you're
imagine,
familiar.
man.
There's this term, culture kid, which basically
Yeah.
means people who are who like went through their adolescence or like part of their adolescence in different country than their origins. They are a little different. Their psychology is a little different, and I think I'm one of them. And it's really easy for
I
me to
imagine.
adapt to a new situation, new environment, but also at the same time, I don't really feel that there's a home, like particular home that I belong to. So it's kind of strange.
At the end of the day, your home is Georgia, though, or do you actually like? Do you miss these other cultures that you've been a part of?
Now, to be honest, yes, I identify myself as Georgian, of course, and I belong in here. But every time I come back, I still have this feeling that I don't really belong. Like I have to go back to somewhere. I have to leave again. So because I lived 2 years in Russia, then 1 year in US, 1 year in Lithuania, and 1 year in Netherlands. So for 25-year-old, it's a pretty much. But,
No kidding, man. Dude, I can't even imagine. You have been just
yeah.
everywhere. What made you like start doing all this traveling? Was it like a program that you fell ass first into, or was it a dream of yours?
It was actually like educational purposes. Like I was everywhere in for educational purposes. So I did my exchange year in US. Then I did my university exchange, on my bachelor in the Vilnius, and then I did my master in the Netherlands. So yeah, it was basically educational purposes. I'm still planning to do my PhD research somewhere in Germany, maybe, but we'll see. It's really time to settle now. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Time to hang out and chill. What
absolutely.
did you accomplish with your studies? Like, where are you at right now with like degree and whatnot?
So now I am done with studying, I think, for now. Maybe I'll do a little research, but that's it. I teach in the university. I teach the law of the sea. and I am also working for some projects in university. So I'm basically into academic field a lot. So yeah.
That's amazing for someone your age. Is that pretty common over there, or is 25 still pretty young to be
No,
so
it's really,
involved like that?
yeah, it's really young. I mean, I get that all the time. I don't want to, get my head really big, but I mean, I get that a lot. But
No, that's awesome, dude.
yeah.
So, you being a foreign exchange student in America, how did that change your outlook on life? Because that was that your first location from Georgia?
I lived in Russia for 2 years before, but I lived with my mom, so I was not really completely alone. And plus, Russia is kind of closer. But US was my first experience living abroad alone, and I was just 17. I was 16, and then I turned to 17. It was really hard, to be honest. I mean, just now I realize. Back then I thought I handled it well, but now I realize it was very tough. It was tough,
I
living alone
imagine.
and stuff. Yeah, but there are like these great things that happened to me in US, which would have never happened to me if I was not there alone and if I was not in US. Because see, like US is so different from the rest of the world. Everybody knows that the lifestyle, the high school, it's really really different. And what we get from the movies, those are basically mostly stereotypes. For example, I was expecting way more bullying in US schools, but that was not really
Yeah,
the case. That was
not
not
the case,
case.
right?
Yeah, I thought that because what you see from the movies, I thought that it's gonna be what I'm gonna. But it was not. I don't know. Maybe because I was an exchange student, or maybe because I was awesome.
Oh
But
no,
nobody really
dude.
bullied. Nobody
There
really
was
bullied
there was a
anyone.
lot of bullying. We just made sure we didn't show you it.
Oh, all right. Thanks, because
We adapted our
yes.
American experience for you, Nick.
Well, that is nice of you because I don't recall any kind of bullying. Maybe I bullied someone, but I don't remember.
Oh yeah, you were an
No,
asshole in high
no,
school, man.
I was not. I was. I
Was
wasn't
that
asshole.
the primary difference you saw? Like, what else did America surprise you with? Because uh, America has like I almost think, do we have a bad rep around the world, or is it just different?
Um, well, now you guys do, yeah, with Trump going on. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
before it was not, I guess not, because I like all of my friends and I stay very, closely connected with the news and what's going on because what happens now with the, Trump and everything, I mean, it affects everyone. So we like basically watch all the news and we know daily what's going on. And yeah, now we're kind of afraid. But before, the American image was very nice, especially for a teenager in yeah, in 2008 and 2007. It was, yeah, the stereotypes are mostly nice because of the movies and all the pop culture and everything. So
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. So this whole Trump thing definitely like I mean it's national. Everybody's watching it. So it definitely like kind of fucked with our image, you think?
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And when I
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
defend the image of US, which I do a lot, I'm just like keep saying that majority votes, and then I try to explain what it means to people here, and try to explain that Trump did not really win with majority. But other than that, yeah, people hate him over here. Even the people who are
Isn't
like
it so
nationalists
fucked?
here, yeah, it is. It is pretty fucked. It was actually, I mean, I give credit. I mean, he was a joke, and then what he did. That was I give him credit for that. But other than that, I mean, come on, it's just ridiculous what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I don't want to backtalk any political views. I mean, I don't know a ton about politics myself, but this is a guy that never studied politics, and now he's the head of our country. It's just really weird, and it, I don't know. I just never really saw him being in this power, but
yeah.
it stirred up a lot of shit. I've never seen anything like this. Other countries are looking at us like we're crazy just because of his new policies and stuff, and that's amazing that your part of the world was like so in tune to what was going on. Because I honestly don't know what the fuck's going on anywhere outside of the U.S. Like maybe I'm just ignorant, but
No, I mean actually that's not surprising because when I was in US, many people, many people, especially students, they did not know that Georgia was a country in Eastern Europe, and I mean, of course, there's not much because I guess you guys are like you Americans are busy because there's so many states and there's so many interstate affairs and there's so many things going on that you don't it's hard to stay in because we, for example, outside of US, we don't really know much about like all those states and what's going on in different states that much. We just know the central politics, so yeah.
the
So
U.S. itself.
yeah, exactly. So
Right. So what were the other differences you saw when you came to America, or what were some problems that you had to overcome? Because, like you said, you were kind of alone. You had a host family, but you were just meeting these people too. It's like, I culture shock must have been fucking insane for you. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I agree with you. But it kind of starts after some time, like after 3 months. That's when the actual cultural shock started. Because first we're just getting to know this new environment and everything, and then you face all the problems, and then it gets hard. But to be honest, the first advice for me was that to get involved in as many things as I could, and I did that. As you remember, I was part of FFA, Future Farmers of
Yeah,
America,
yeah.
because that was part of my
Because
program. Like
the best part was you knew in your heart you would never be a future farmer of America.
Not even a future farmer of Georgia, because I grew up in the city. I have never seen an actual cow before. But yeah, I was a future
Yeah.
farmer of America. But the reason behind it was that part of my program was that I had to be member of some kind of leadership organization. Apparently, Canton High School only had FFA, so I had to join that one. And
You absolutely okay. Yeah.
so yeah, I didn't really
I
have a choice, but it was fun. Different people, different kids, And also, I was a part of marching band. Actually, we were playing there together, and you probably remember it. And
oh hell
me
yeah,
and
dude.
like four more exchange students. None of us could play anything, so but we wanted to be in the band, so they gave us cymbals to play. And
Yep,
we were
that's
just
right, buddy.
we were just
That's how you ended up with me because I didn't know music either. I just wanted to go to Florida.
yeah, and we just like look at each other, and somebody would like start playing cymbals, and we just like ring it, and it
Just kind
was
of
funny. We messed up a lot of
follow
times,
through with it.
and people would like
Hey,
look at
that's
us.
fine, dude.
And people would look at us and oh, exchange students again, they messed it up. It's exchange
Yeah, how do you think
students.
I felt? I did it for 4 fucking years. Every year, my whole symbol crew was just foreign exchange students and Cory Surber. That's
Dude,
all it
you're
ever
like
was.
you were our mentor. You like guided us through through
I loved it,
the
dude.
war. How
I
to
wanted to
play
give you the
cymbals.
American experience.
You did, man. You actually did. And so yeah, I also was part of. I played tennis. Yeah, I was not good at it, and we
Hey,
didn't
that's a
win.
hard one, though.
Yeah, we did not win anything. And also, I went to the youth church youth group. I don't know how you call it. Church youth. I don't
Youth
know.
group, yeah.
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 So I basically stayed as active as I could possibly be. So that really helped. I basically had so many friends, and yeah, that helped with lonely, to be homesick and stuff.
Yeah,
So it was
absolutely,
nice.
man. So, was there ever a time where you actually became fully comfortable in the U.S.? Like, the shock wore off and the homesickness went away?
Yeah, actually, that's how it works. Like second part is easier, especially at the end. But at the end, like last 2 months, you really get get used to the idea that you're going back, and you start to prepare and you're waiting for it. So it's hard to stay connected that much. So it's kind of a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster you go through when you're on exchange. You just start being confused and get used to it and have friends, and then at the end you realize you're gonna leave and prepare to leave, and then when you come back, you after some time, after a few months, you start to miss it a lot, and it comes back. For example,
Yeah,
I'm back
absolutely.
from Netherlands for 6 months now, and I just now started to miss it really, really much. Like I just now realized how much I miss to ride my bike to the university and smoke some weed and hang out with people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So
That was
yeah.
fully legal over there, right?
Yeah, in the Netherlands, it's well, yeah. First of all, many people say Holland in Amsterdam. So basically, the correct way to call it is the Netherlands, because that's the country. The Holland is just one of the provinces out of 12, and that's where the Amsterdam is located. So many people call it Holland, but it's the Netherlands. And all over the Netherlands, the drug policy is very how to say
Loose.
tolerated, yeah, loose. And
Yeah,
basically, there are
yeah.
coffee shops you can get joined for €3, which would be three US dollars approximately. And
Three
yeah,
bucks.
it's legal, and the quality is of course very safe and everything. And not only weed, I mean mostly any recreational drugs that helps you relax or have enjoy the music and stuff. I'm really against hard drugs and everything. But I'm pro-choice when it comes to the recreational drugs. Because, for example, in Georgia, the wine is a big deal. Like it's a wine culture. Many people believe that it was first, wine was created. First was created in Georgia, and it's a big deal. And for example, and many people say
Is it
that
bigger than
smoke.
beer?
Yeah, wine is big in Georgia. It's huge. I mean, people come here to taste Georgian wine and so on and so on. But I mean, if you think about it, I mean, and it's been discussed many times, the difference between between alcohol and weed. I mean, there are so many advantages to smoke weed and not to drink alcohol, right? So, I mean, why not? But in
Yeah,
Georgia, it's
absolutely.
very
For
strict.
sure,
You
for
you
sure.
can go to jail for smoking weed a few times.
In Georgia?
Yeah,
Oh, so you don't even do it in Georgia.
yeah, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. I'm actually
Well,
I'm a lawyer, so I kind of like I have this feeling like if I break the law, I will feel so uncomfortable. That's kind of my thing. I cannot break the law.
you'll
I would feel
you'll
so
fucking like
uncomfortable.
turn yourself in.
Exactly. I'll be like, yeah, I just had a smoke. Yeah, just put me in jail for
Yeah,
10 years.
yeah, yeah. So you seeing a culture that is so loose on drugs, you can kind of vouch that was it a decent culture or were they fucking maniacs? Because I imagine with lesser punishment and higher recreational drugs, they were just as normal as everybody else. They didn't lose their fucking minds. Is that true or?
Now, actually, to be honest, in the Netherlands, like among the Dutch people, like people from Netherlands, the drug use is only 16%, the recreational drug, which is very low compared to other countries. So basically, they actually lowered the number through educating kids in school about the drugs well, and through awareness. So it's actually better. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did
Yeah.
you were there like mushrooms and stuff too at the cafes?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, but they had their magic truffles. It's called smart shops. You can get magic truffles in smart shops, and at least you know that it's safe and it's not bad quality or something. Nothing's gonna happen to you, and yeah, and the money goes to the budget and to the government, so it's good. It's not like a black market thing, and it's decent.
So it's way safer, and you know you're not
Abs-
getting some shitty
Absolutely.
shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So so did you try the magic truffles?
I've tried like all the legal things a little by little. I didn't like have many, or I didn't like keep doing any of it. So I just wanted to
It was just a
try,
trial.
yeah, I just wanted to try everything, and I was very cautious. Like everything I would try, like for like a prior week, I would do a full research, because that's me. I do that. I'm like that, and
Well,
I would
yeah,
do, yeah, I
that's
would go
smart.
through due diligence, like what is necessary, what kind of item is, what could be the emergency. So just to keep it very safe. But yeah, I'm like overcautious about it. But yeah, but I think it's fine to try those like very light drugs sometimes, but you should be on control, of course, like and choose. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever have a bad experience on them, or was it all pretty
No,
positive?
no, I was always very cautious about the dose, or like how much I would try, and the big part about alcohol and drugs for me is not any substance or liquid that you take. That should not be the center of the situation, but the environment that you are enjoying, for example, the music, the conversation with friend, that should be the central part, and all the other things you do would should facilitate this. So it should facilitate you to enjoy the music, or it should facilitate you to have deeper conversation with someone, or connect to him with in a deeper emotional level to feel more secure, and so on and
Yeah,
so on. So
yeah, that's fucking genius, dude. I've never heard anybody mention it that way, but
yeah,
that's pretty. That's how I would look at it. I've always wanted to try mushrooms, but I'm afraid I'm gonna like peel my face off or something.
yeah, 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 okay. But I mean, yeah, you should
Afraid to
probably start with.
lose total control.
Is it legal in US now or not really?
Mushrooms, that's another fucking 50 years away, but marijuana is just starting to catch way, and uh,
Yeah, I've heard it's legal in
that's kind
Colorado
of
and some
popping
other
up.
states.
Yep, yep. And Ohio, finally, we're medical legal. So that means if you go to a shady doctor and say you hurt your ankle, you can smoke weed legally. So
Well,
that's
yeah, so
coming
you
pretty
guys are on the
soon.
right track. That's good. We still have a very
Yeah,
long
fucking
way to
100
go.
years later, I think it's bullshit, man. It's all for money, but if we legalize it, we can make so much cash from marijuana. It's insane.
Absolutely. That's
Colorado's,
the same. Yeah, that's the same arguments in Georgia. We have this new political party now who wants to legalize it, and there's so many like benefits of it because in the region it's completely illegal, and we would have so much income as a country to legalize it. But of course, we have so much, all these conservative thoughts that everybody's gonna start smoking, then kids will die and stuff like that, you know.
it's so stupid. So
Yeah,
stupid.
I mean, of course, it
If
should be
we,
done very cautiously, through education, awareness, and little by little. But I mean, if you compare it with alcohol, kids in Georgia start drinking alcohol when they're like 15. It's wrong.
So
Yeah.
you were already drinking when you came to the U.S.
Yeah, actually, when I came to US, I was already drinking, and I had a year off drinking. So basically, I didn't drink for a
Yeah, yeah.
year. And when I came back to Georgia, I had like we had to celebrate, of course, and I had 2 glasses of wine since I was so like not used to drink anymore. I got so drunk in just 2 glasses. That was incredible.
Your
That was
tolerance
crazy.
went down like a
Exactly.
lot.
That was crazy. So yeah.
I think so. This is a weird perception of this, but if we everybody starts legalizing marijuana, we're gonna fucking get interstellar travel because the whole world will be so much more fucking. We'll have so much more profit. Like alcohol and cigarettes make so much fucking money, and
Exactly. Yeah.
marijuana is like a sweet in between of those two. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and it just, I mean, to me, it's just a way to enjoy yourself. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't smoke it. If somebody likes it, he should. It's just the way, like at the end of the day, the central thing is a human being, and so, fulfillment and emotional security and so on and so on, and the personal relationship. So whatever would accommodate this is fine, and weed is definitely one of those. So yeah, why not?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I've gotten panicky on it before, but other than that, it's been a positive experience. So
Great.
when you got back to home from your travels, was it like a full week party, or were they just happy to see you, or how did you
Uh,
guys go about that?
Yeah, usually I we do that. Like we have like few days of celebrating with different cycles of people. I'm really lucky that even though I do live abroad a lot, I still have very big cycle of friends in Georgia, like core friend cycle that I stick with them all the time, and we're very close, and we stay in touch online when I'm gone, and so I'm really lucky with that, and. Yeah, we do celebrate for a while when I come back. So yeah.
Do I? So everybody keeps in touch. Did anybody come visit you while you're on your travels at all?
Sometimes, yeah. Well, they didn't visit me in US because first of all, I was younger and all my friends were younger, so they couldn't, and it's really far.
Can't really go
But
about. Yeah.
in Vilnius and in the Netherlands, yes, they did come visit me, and yeah, and I traveled a lot in different European countries, and that's a good thing about Europe. Like you can really travel easily once you're in the European Union, so I traveled a lot. I traveled to Switzerland. I traveled to Italy. I traveled to the Denmark. Yeah, so it was nice.
What's your favorite place you've been to?
And that's a very good question. I really loved Zurich, the Switzerland, because of how high the standard of living is. But it was incredibly expensive. Like I cannot explain how expensive it was. For me as a tourist, it was really bad. But the one thing I really liked about it, it was a huge city, but it was so quiet. So you would stand in the middle of the city, a huge city. Everything is moving around you, but it's so quiet. I don't know why. Maybe because the legislation and every transport is so new, and the public transport is only the tramways and like newest trains, and so it's really really quiet. And that I really liked because I grew up in a big city. I mean, I live in Tbilisi, which is the capital of Georgia, and it's like 2 million people for the cities a lot. So it's always very noisy and a little polluted
Crowded.
and everything. Yeah, exactly. So that was really nice about Switzerland. But I really liked Amsterdam because how chill it is, and bicycles all around. And by the way, when I lived in Netherlands, I traveled by bike all the time, so that was new for me. So I would get my groceries on my bike, and and get to the university on bike. And the infrastructure is really nice, so you can it's better to have a bike than the car because it's more comfortable by
Really.
bike. So this is nice. I
I think
think
that'd be
every
awesome. I love riding my bike.
it's really sweet, but and there's like small like everything is adapted to the bikes, and people are really in if you mess something up, people really get mad at you for not following the bicycle order or whatever. So yeah, it's
Really.
nice. Yeah. So yeah.
How is so when you're traveling to places like this? How was your lack of your language? Is everybody pretty much speaking English now, or how was the how was it talking to other people there? Was that difficult?
So first, after US, I lived in Lithuania. Just to give an idea, Lithuania is a very small country, like 2.5 million in Eastern Europe, and it used to be part of Soviet Union. So some people speak Russian. Most of them speak Lithuanian, their own language, and young people spoke English. So I would basically manage, if I would see a young person, I would speak in English. If I would see older people, I would speak in Russian. So there was basically no one I could not communicate with in Lithuania. But in Netherlands, everybody speaks in English perfect, like fluently. Even I once talked with 11, like a person who was in 11th grade, junior, high school junior, and she had like perfect English, like absolutely fluent. You would not differentiate. Just because Scandinavian countries and Western European countries have such a good education system, and every movie in on TV is in English with their subtitles of their, for example, Dutch subtitles. So basically, they can speak fluently, even old people, fluent English. So it was,
Why do you
and I
think
was.
that? Why do they do that? Like other cultures, every culture learns languages at such a young age. And when it comes to the U.S., dude, I have no idea of another language. Like I learned English and that was it. But literally, like most countries teach you English and Spanish from the get go.
Well, because first of all, for countries like small countries, you have to be competitive. So you have to speak languages because not many people speak Georgian or Dutch, for example, right? So you basically have
Yeah.
to speak English, and English is kind of an international language now. So if you do speak in English, you don't need to learn. Otherwise, you do need to. It will be beneficial, but you don't have absolute necessity to speak other big languages. But if you don't speak English, you have to. Like it's not even a choice because it used to. People would say in Georgia that should my kid learn English or should he learn German, for example. Now it's not like that. Now it's like okay, you have to learn English first and then whatever language comes next. Yeah, why not? But first one, it's not even a choice now. So, and it's good because I think the humankind came up with one language and they decided they will communicate on this is a great thing. So that's
Yeah, it's
good.
wonderful. I mean, it's kind of breaking down barriers between our countries.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, it's a good
so you're
thing.
saying if I were to travel kind of like how you did, I could kind of fare my way just speaking my primary language.
Well, in Western Europe, absolutely. In Eastern Europe, with young people, for sure. Even in Georgia, with young people, no problem at all. We have a lot of tourists coming, and they don't have any problem. But well, I guess in Asia that would be a problem. Or so
Yeah, I'd have to learn their
you have
language,
to,
and
yeah,
that
you
is
have to
impossible for
learn
me to.
Chinese.
Yeah, well, I'll just use Google Translate.
Absolutely, why not?
Yeah, for sure. So Nick, what's the best food you've had on your travels? Because I imagine you've tried tons of cuisine, and that's something that I really would enjoy from going country to country. You get
Of
to
course.
see like the bizarre foods kind of thing firsthand.
Yeah, to be honest, yes, I have tried a lot of food, but I'm a huge fan of my own food, like Georgian food. I really, really love it. So I would say my favorite food would still be Georgian food because we got a lot of meat. I'm sorry for all the vegetarians out there. I mean, I appreciate what they're doing, but I really love meat, and
No, fuck
so.
vegetarians. Get your shit together, guys. We're carnivores.
Yeah, get a steak. But
Yeah, get your shit together.
but so we have a lot of meat and spices and Greek nuts and a lot of good things in the food. So it's really tasty. To be honest, well, European food is not that good. I mean, Dutch food. There's no such thing as Dutch food. I mean, they do have this waffles, but that's it. But yeah,
Hey, I
I
love their
guess
waffles.
waffles are awesome. Yeah, especially if you're high, sweets go well
Oh
with
yeah.
with. But
That's why the Waffle House is so popular over here.
absolutely, yeah. Actually, anything tastes good when you're high, so that's you should stick with fruits and healthy stuff. It also you'll also enjoy it.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
That's a good advice
for
for
sure.
people who just start to smoke and don't want to
Yeah,
gain
stick
weight.
to the fruits, asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So what's
So
the
yeah, I would say Georgian
so
food would
their
be.
food is really bland, you think?
Yeah, I mean they don't really have a food. Like they don't have actual Dutch food. Yeah, so they have different restaurants. They have the sausages, but they're not really Dutch. I mean, just sausage. So, so that's it.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
see any American food around the world when you're
Yeah, of
traveling?
course, everywhere. You get fast food places everywhere. You get McDonald's and Wendy's everywhere you go. And what else? I don't
Can you
know.
taste the
Big.
difference, or is it basically the same?
Not really, no. I think the worst McDonald's I had was in US. So yeah,
How
the
dare
worst.
you,
Yeah,
dude?
I know absolutely. Like worst fast food places were actually like in America, the American ones. So in Georgia, McDonald's tastes way better than in US. But to be honest, in Georgia it's also way more expensive than in US. So yeah.
Is that everything or just the fast food?
In Georgia, actually, it's a cool place to go. Like it's a cool place to hang out in McDonald's, and it's really expensive and it's trendy. Not anymore, but I mean, still, it used to be very trendy. And in US, it's probably the like cheapest place to go and eat fast. So that's a
In the
bit
U.S.,
nice.
that's where you go when you're dying. When you
To die
when you
faster.
have three when you have three daughters and you have $3 to feed them, you go to the fucking U.S. McDonald's.
And eat three burgers and make them watch, right?
That's right. Yeah, split a burger with your fucking dying child. That's what the U.S. McDonald's is.
Yeah, that is different. We don't
That's
do
so
that.
weird. So it's like a coffee shop over there. You guys hung out at it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice place to get internet and hang out, and people are nice there. And yeah, so
What the?
what the
That's
fuck?
crazy, man. Dude, Aaron and I, right? What year did you leave the States? Were you my senior year? I can't even
2009.
remember shit.
We finished. Yeah, we graduated together. Don't you remember?
Yeah, so
We were at the
I don't remember
ceremony.
shit. All I remember is you and your
Well, it
beautiful
was a long
face.
time ago. Yeah, I do have a beautiful
Yeah,
face. Hard to forget that.
you
But
sure do, buddy.
but it was so long. Yeah. People. I hope people are gonna like look me up on internet now. Like, what's that beautiful face?
They're gonna be like,
But
"Holy shit,
they
he does have a
can,
beautiful
we
face."
have to. We have to look it up.
Dude,
So,
so Aaron, you remember? Well, I know you remember Aaron. Me, you, and
I
Aaron
do
were
remember him. We
inseparable.
didn't really stay in touch though. But yeah, I do remember
At
him.
all, right?
Not at all. Yeah.
He No, that sucks. He's hard to keep up with. He's doing his thing, but I hardly see him anymore either.
No.
Um, him and I went to the Virgin Islands together, and there's a thing called island time. Like I'm sure you've heard of it, where everything runs slowly.
No.
We went to
Nice.
a McDonald's and got through the drive-through, and we were
Okay.
in the drive-through for, I swear to you, 35 minutes. That was the worst fast food experience I've ever been through. It was not fast food at all.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I really love eating. I've always had trouble with my, keep controlling my weight and stuff. Like once I start, there are people who like can eat anytime and don't get fat or anything. I'm a
Yeah,
kind of
fuck
person
those
like I
people.
start like I'm gonna like eat one for like once just a little bit more and I'm gonna like feel it. I'm gonna feel I'm getting fat and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
for
be
sure.
very. So I'm not really lucky with that. So I'm trying to control it, but I do love eating nice meals. Especially if the meat is involved. And again, sorry for people who don't eat it at all, but yeah, I do love it.
I have a very close friend, and he's a vegetarian, and I can comfortably say, "Fuck you for being a vegetarian," or Jacob.
No, I mean to be honest, I mean this is
You're doing
something
God's work, but come on.
you do good exactly. I mean, is this something you realize that he's better than you because he's doing the right thing, but you don't feel
No,
guilty because it just I mean you
the
just like meat.
yeah, at the end of the day, every vegetarian I've ever met, they look at meat with a lust. They're like vampires, like from Twilight. They crave human blood, but they're eating these bullshit deers.
Yeah, I don't know how is it in US, but for some reason most of vegetarians in Georgia brag about it. So that also gets annoying sometimes.
Well,
But
that's the case with vegans. They think
oh, okay.
vegans like that's where you don't touch anything. Well, you know
Yeah,
what a vegan
well,
is, right?
I know. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, they have like a culture where they brag about it, and that is definitely that's cross-platform.
Yeah.
So what's the best meal you've ever had, Nick? The one meal that comes to your mind.
It's a Georgian one, khingali. So it's basically a dumpling, but Georgian way. So it has different spices and it's tastier. So it's a dumpling. Yeah, it's
Is it
pretty
like deep
simple.
fried or
It's boiled. Yeah, it's boiled dumpling.
boil?
There's a meat inside and with all the spices and stuff. And it's really good and with the juice. And it's really good when you're hangover or when you're drunk and you want to eat and stuff. So it's perfect. It's
Yeah, for
perfect.
sure. Is it in like a soup?
No, it's just dumplings, and there's a special way to eat it. So first you take a bite, and then you suck all the juice out of it, and then you eat it. So the best way to eat it, not to drop a single drop on your plate, which is really hard. But once you practice, you can do it perfectly. So it's kind of a challenge, and
That sounds. Oh my god, that sounds like a very difficult food to eat. I'm
it,
interested.
it is. All the good things are difficult. Not
That's
really.
right. All of them, especially women. Do you remember?
Exactly.
You know Slim Jims, right?
Slim
You ever had
Jims?
a Slim Jim?
Is that
Yeah,
no, not really. What is it? I mean, I can guess what it is, but
it's like a disgusting beef jerky stick, and it kind of has like a secret cheat code to eat it too. You stick the meat in your mouth and you suck it until the meat turns gray, and then you're essentially getting all the meat juices. Yeah, that's like an
yeah,
American thing.
that
That's not a
would be
thing.
a
I
title.
did that as a child because
That
I'm
should be a
fat.
title of a porn video.
Yeah, sucking the Slim Jim. That's a good band
until
name.
until it changed the color.
Yeah, yeah, until it goes gray.
Until it goes gray. That's not good. That cannot be
Don't let a
good.
vegan see you do that either.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the weirdest shit you've seen when you've been on your travels, Nick?
Now, to be honest, I've been like I didn't do any like backpack traveling, sleeping in tents and stuff, so I didn't see much weird shit. One very
Yeah.
interesting thing was in Netherlands. Every city in Netherlands has red light districts. So you probably know what it means, right? So there are windows and there are prostitutes in it, and
Yeah, yeah.
you just go through this street, and you can because it's legal, prostitution is legal, and
What a
basically
wonderful
and
thing.
it's a wonderful country, isn't it? And
Yeah.
basically the fun thing was they have lights, and every light represents what you should look for. So part of it is not red but blue, which means those are transgender row. So that row is
Oh, Christ.
transgenders and stuff like that. So that was kind of really like interesting thing to see that the colors actually demonstrate what people might look for. So that was
Is
that
there
was
a
interesting.
is there a fat chick light? What light do I
No,
look
there's no
for an
fat chick.
incredibly obese woman?
I do not know.
You think they have everything?
Gray light, the same color as the beef jerky turns into after sucking.
I'll keep looking out for it. Though.
You should. So yeah, the red light
That's
district
crazy,
part
man.
was really interesting because basically, when I lived there, I had to pass it to go to university every day, twice a day. So I would it's just a
Was it
street. I mean, you
safe?
just go past it and go to the university and get back. I mean, and people are so cool about it, like locals. It's so part of their culture. I mean, it's so normal. But for me, like first like weeks I got there, I was so excited to go through that, go through the street and see what is going on. But then I kind of, really got used to it. Hey, you girls, how are you doing today? Everything's going well.
Yeah. Is it just like a normal road with lights everywhere,
Yeah,
or were they
exactly.
actually like in the street and shit?
No, that is the actual road, just one of the streets, like just street, just the street.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Was it so? It was a
No,
safe
Jesus
area
was
too,
not
then.
there. To be honest, I didn't see him there
I don't.
much.
I don't think Jesus would be there.
He was
He's looking
not
for the
there.
fat
That
chick
was
light.
that was not. There was no special light for Jesus, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
but
crazy,
yeah.
man. So red light district is that per city or is that just like one
It's
red
in
light district?
every no, it's in every city. I lived in a small town. It was called Groningen, university town. Around 150,000 people lived there, and yes, it had a red light district, and every city has it in Netherlands. So
Really?
it's not just
Do you
Amsterdam.
do you think that helps with the area's mental health? Because I feel like a lot of depression and stuff comes from men that can't get laid because they're not outgoing enough. But if they can go pay for sex, do you think that actually like helps their mental health in that area?
So in general, there are three ways to approach the prostitution. There's first way to really fight it, like make sure it doesn't happen. Maybe in Iran or somewhere that happens in Arab countries. The second way is the most common, is just to tolerate and ignore it. So like for example in Georgia, I mean it's happening. Everybody knows where to get it, where to go and get women for money,
But
but
it's
it's
still
not
illegal,
legal.
right?
But it's illegal, yes. And there's third way,
Okay.
which is common in Western Europe now. It's the legalizing it, and I think that's the best way. Of course, I mean, if something is still it's happening, and there's no harm from it. Of course, it should be legal and it controlled, at least regulated, and it's more safety, for the customers, for the sex workers. It's safer, and also they pay taxes. So it has many benefits, and I don't think the number of um, actual prostitution has increased because it's legal. I mean, it's happening anyways. So yeah, and
Isn't that such a
emotional.
weird argument?
Which one?
Like the whole like because what you said it can be crossed to marijuana legalization
Yeah,
and even harder
absolutely.
drugs like
Absolutely. No,
because
harder drugs, no, because it's really harmful for a person and for environment of a drug addict, and social, because it causes a lot of crime
what
and so on and
yeah
so on. And prostitution doesn't. I mean,
well when I say harder
I
drugs I'm not talking heroin, I'm talking like I guess mushroom wouldn't be a harder drug but over here it's like a narcotic.
yeah, I don't think mushroom. Yeah, I mean, yeah, same logic, I guess. I mean, for me, it's mostly individual liberties, right? I mean, is it my liberty to do something, or is it my liberty to make deal with something? So mutual freedom, mutual free will. So basically, prostitution. How do you differentiate prostitution from massage, for example? Like, what is the
For a
difference?
massage,
Yeah,
I
like
don't
what is the
come every time I
difference
get a
for
fucking
yeah, but
massage.
what is the difference between you coming and just receiving a physical pleasure from massage? Like, is there like a
um
substantial
that's a good
difference?
question.
I mean, I do not see any substantial difference in it. I mean, there is a service, a physical service, and there's a pleasure, and there's a mutual benefit of money in exchange. And I mean, I do not see what's the harm.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I was just playing devil's advocate. We have
No,
you heard
it's
of
it's
Rub
good.
Maps?
Rob Maps, not really. No, what is
Oh, it's a wonderful service. Okay, so uh,
it?
here here in the U.S.,
Okay.
you have these massage parlors, and
Okay.
if you tip well, they'll give you a hand job and shit like
Okay.
that. Well, Rub Maps is where guys post locations that they've had
Okay.
success with. So it's
Nice.
basically like a third party prostitution website. It's crazy.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, actually, that brings me to Tinder thing, because in Georgia it's getting really popular now, and I know in the US it's been popular for a while. But here people don't use it to get laid. People use it to actually, meet each other and get romantic and stuff. And how is it in US now?
Really. So it's
Yeah,
like
I know.
it's an actual dating app.
It's an actual dating app as
Yeah, that's
commercialized.
amazing. You guys use it for what it was intended to be used for.
Exactly.
Dude, Tinder, man. I think apps like Tinder are very dangerous
Have you
because
done it? Have you
it.
done swiping?
Yeah, I did Tinder, and I don't know. Like,
I've done it too. I'm really
it.
unsuccessful with Tinder because nobody matches. Nobody swipes me right, so I don't know. And I get mad very easy and
I
I
know it's
delete
really bad for
it.
your
It's
fucking psyche, right?
exhausting.
Really bad for your
Exactly.
ego.
I just feel so rejected. I mean, of course, I'm kidding. I had few matches, but I mean, compared to what girls get, it's nothing.
Oh my God! So it's a totally different story for women. They're constantly their phones are blowing up, and I
Exactly,
imagine
yeah.
like
Such a
how do you handle
discrimination,
that?
isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess
absolutely.
their confidence goes really high then, and they get really picky.
It's honestly, it really is going to change our cultures because it's way too easy to have sex now with an app like that. I mean, not for you and
And
I.
you,
We're just normal looking dudes. But if you're a hot dude and you got some sweet abs to show off, yeah, man.
well, that's not bad. I mean, that gives motivation people to get abs and work out. I mean, that's not bad, right?
It didn't work for me.
Did-
I did not go get abs.
See, that didn't motivate. So sex did not motivate you enough, or you were already getting some, so it was not.
No, that's how strong my love for food and beer is. That even my
It's
instinctual love for
stronger.
reproduction doesn't motivate
Well,
me.
eating is also an instinct, so I mean, which one would be? I mean, to be honest, like which instinct would be stronger, to reproduce or to survive? I would bet that survive would be stronger. So yeah, eating would
I
be
got to go with
stronger.
survival.
Yeah, I mean, because survival is
Hey,
more like short term, so you have to survive in few hours or a day, and you have to reproduce per life, for so yeah. But I
yeah,
mean, I'm not
absolutely.
reducing the importance of survival instinct, of reproduction instinct, but still,
No, we're fine on reproduction right now.
we're
When our
fine.
numbers
Okay.
start dipping, then yeah, then we'll
Yeah,
start talking a
actually,
little
the
more.
biggest problem the world is facing right now is overpopulation. So that is probably the biggest problem, bigger than climate change, bigger
So
than anything. It's overpopulation.
yeah, absolutely, that's crazy. But I read somewhere that U.S. is actually having sex less than our parents did, which blows my
Really?
fucking
Really?
mind.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I read.
Well,
I
you
mean,
guys should do something
we'd have to
about it.
look into it. It doesn't
Well,
make
they,
sense though,
to be
right?
honest, they like parents' generation. They didn't have much to do. I guess they just like sit home and have sex, and now there's
Yeah,
so
they
many
didn't have
things.
like
They
PlayStation and
didn't
shit.
have, yeah, they didn't have phone to scroll all the time at night. I mean, how can you like you have to scroll an hour before you go to sleep, right? That's kind of rule. Like everybody does it. So it's so
Oh
hard
yeah,
to
I do
manage.
that.
You have to scroll for an hour and also have sex. It's just impossible. It's really hard.
Yeah,
So yeah, I have to
you nobody
compromise on
scrolls
sex.
while they're having sex. That's psychotic.
Well, maybe some people do that. Would be really weird, but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
What if you were having sex with a girl that you met on Tinder and she's swiping right on Tinder? Like that's
That
that
would
kind of
suck.
bad.
That would be really
Yeah,
bad. And the worst part would be like she sees your picture and swipes left, and you see it while having
yeah.
sex.
You get to see it in real
You're
time.
like,
Oh.
what? So if she would like change her mind, that's what she would do. She would not do it over.
She
That's
would
when you
stop
know
the
you're doing
sexual
something
act.
wrong.
That's right. That's right. Was the so do you guys a thing we have in the States is called catfishing, where women pretend to be more beautiful than they are, and I've run into it quite a bit myself. Is that something that you guys see, or are you guys pretty honest on your online dating?
To be honest, I haven't done much online dating because for me the problem is whatever happens, your expectations are always different from what you get. Like your expectations are usually higher, so mostly you get disappointed. So I haven't done much online dating, but I think that's a human nature to sell themselves a little bit better, especially if it's hard to check from the first sight. So I guess if I would create an online page, I would probably set my profile nicer than I think I objectively am. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Well,
That makes
here,
sense,
I
of
mean, we have
course.
women. We have women that will post women that have gained a ton of weight out of high school, and then they'll post pictures of them like right as they were
Well, they're just
graduating.
lying, I
So,
guess,
so you
right?
meet this. Yeah, it's just a lie. But you
That's
meet this
just a
woman, and
lie.
she's like 100 pounds more. For
Yeah.
me, when I had online dating, I made my profile look so shitty. Like I'd have a giant dip in. I'd be shirtless with all my chest hair blazing. So when they actually met me, they're super excited. Like, holy shit, this
That's
guy's
actually a smart
wonderful.
thing to do, isn't it?
It's reverse
Make sure
psychology.
manage the expectations to be lower, and then you get more impressed.
Yeah, and the chances of them swiping right on you is very slim. Very, very slim. All right,
Yeah,
Nick,
correct.
let's see. What We've almost talked about everything, my brother. Well, actually, no. So you've had quite a bit of luck with actually
Yeah.
meeting girls outside of online dating, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty lucky to be honest. For my age, I've tried many different girls, and to be honest, I don't consider myself to be very good looking. I see my strength in intelligence more than looks or having a perfect physiology. But I've been lucky with girls. To be honest, I was not very lucky at the beginning when I was a teenager, but because I would fell in love with everybody like from the first time, and then everything I would do would be very crucial to the relation. So everything I would see as a very important, and then I would mess it up, of course, because girls sense that. But then
Yeah.
I changed my ways a little bit, and now I find it way easier to get girls' attraction. So yeah, it's been going well for
Yeah, that's
me.
awesome.
Yeah,
For
but
sure.
to
Well, that's something
hmm
I actually want to get into that deeper next time we get together, but I know you're a busy man, so we got to kind of cut this bad boy short, but thank you
yeah,
so much for sitting down with me, man. We
yeah,
haven't we haven't done this in 8 years. We haven't talked this long forever.
absolutely. I'm really, really happy that I was at your show, your podcast, and thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, buddy.
Yeah,
So everybody, thank you for tuning into Manscape. I just hope you guys stay thug, and thank you, Nick. I
yeah.
will see you guys
Thank you.
on the next episode, and you do your best to stay sexy, America.